Welcome back, guys. We got something new for the channel today and something I hope sticks around for the future. The new show Star Trek Discoveries just came out, and I have been having a ton of fun watching this. And I got a friend of the family, friend of the channel hanging out with me tonight, and we are just going to talk all about Star Trek Discovery. Travis, man, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited about talking about Star Trek.
Awesome, dude. Well, me and Travis have taken the time to write down some notes. And this is going to be spoilerific, so if you haven't seen the show yet, I highly recommend you put this on pause, check out the show, and then come back and join us, because we are going to be talking about all the episodes leading up to, I think it was episode 5, right?
Yep, that's right.
And I've also written down about 12 different things I'm going to talk about that, in order of appearance, that I think need to get out first. Before we get into this, I do want to tell everybody that I'm not some kind of old school Star Trek fan. I haven't seen all of them. My intro to Star Trek was the Scott Bakula series that I actually managed to get through like the first season. Which Enterprise?
Yeah.
And I tried TNG. I loved it, and I watched some of the other ones, but I ended up skipping a lot of episodes. I liked the fun episodes, and I liked the episodes where they were kind of exploring, but if they started fighting, I know this sounds crazy, I wasn't interested in the fighting, and I really wasn't interested in the aliens. It drove me nuts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back then it was a little cringy if you're not watching it in the 90s.
Exactly.
If you're watching it nowadays, it's just like, what is this? What am I looking at? But back then it was amazing.
Exactly, and that's why I like the stories. I like the science behind it, and
Yes.
but whenever it always felt like, here's the white guy of the week in the prosthetic, and he's got the funky clothes on, and so that would always pull me out. And I feel like
Yeah.
they've actually nailed the aliens this time.
Yeah, the Klingons in this one are very new.
And that would really be a great segue into the first thing we wanted to talk about, was the fan reaction. There seems to be a real big divide amongst people that are fans of the show and people that are new to it. Or
Yeah.
people that just, they're not realizing also that it's kind of like a reboot. I'm kind of wrapping three things into like one topic: the fan reaction, the reboot, and the Klingons. Because to me, they kind of all tie in together. And I think people are probably hung up first on the Klingons. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean the first episode, the first scene opens up with the Klingon, little ceremony type thing of them uniting the houses. And it's the first thing we see, and it's super dramatic. For longtime fans of the series will right away be like, are these Klingon? Are they not Klingon? What am I looking at?
Right. And because they completely rebooted them, they look drastically different.
Totally
Do you know
different.
if the language is the same?
I think the language is the same, but I mean, I'm kind of like you. I'm not like a super,
Yeah.
super fan, but it sounds the same. I don't really know.
But it seems that there's a category of person, and I love this show, and I like some of the old shows, so I'm accepting that this is a reboot, partially because I'm not some like old school fan. Maybe that's making it easier for me. So, but I actually loved the Klingons. I thought they looked really awesome. I loved how alien and vicious they were, and the spacesuits, and it just feels like more.
Yeah, their spacesuits. I like how it's like armor. Like before is like in any of the previous they'd always seem like leather jumpsuits or some kind of weird uniform, and these are like battle armor because that's what Klingons are. They're a warrior race. You know what I mean?
And I'm definitely feeling that viciousness. Like they even mentioned eating somebody's like skull or something at one point.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
I think the Klingons look good. The only thing I noticed is like some of the makeup artists. Some of them look kind of cringy, to be honest, like rubbery mask type thing.
yeah, I would definitely
It's like,
agree.
yeah, like it just doesn't fit some of the actors as well as some of the other actors that look really good as a Klingon.
I found it an odd choice too, that, and I hate to like pick racial sides, but like the one Klingon is like the he's white.
Yeah.
So, and I know they're using a lot of black characters. I
Uh-huh.
believe that character, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that character was actually black. And I know there was some fans and stuff said, "Hey, that's kind of messed up." Mind you, they have put a black girl that I'm hoping inspires young kids and all kinds of kids to get into space and science fiction and stuff. So I
Yeah, as the
actually
main
think that they're
character.
not, I don't think that they did it like racially. Um,
I don't think so. I honestly, I think people are quick to jump to that conclusion when it's just people. You know what I mean?
exactly.
They're just people. They're actors. There's no political agenda here. And if there is, I don't care.
Yeah, it's just so awesome. To further elaborate on the Klingons, I think why we're seeing some of the change here is if you look up a Klingon and just like Google Klingon and look at what the old ones look like, that's
Oh yeah.
part of that goofy stuff that I was talking about. For fans of the show, I know you love it, but the Klingons to me were always like, "Are you kidding? Why do they have hair like a 40-year-old man that went bald early?" Like, I just couldn't buy into him. I couldn't dig it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the stupid, goofy mustaches. I just didn't like Klingons. Worf was cool, but
Yeah.
I grew
I
to
mean,
like him.
yeah, he was, main character. But back then, the Klingons were just they looked more human than they did alien. They didn't look alien at all, just with the bumpy forehead. And that
Right.
was like the only criteria they had to be a Klingon in the
And
show was a bumpy forehead.
and that was basically every alien. I think that's why they
Yeah.
rebooted it the way they did because they did do away with the bumpy faced alien. Has there been a single bumpy faced alien in anything we've seen so far? No. Not that I
No,
believe.
not
I think
not
that
that doesn't dramatically look like an alien.
every alien I've seen either looks new or brought back. They got robots in this one that I was like, that look good. This looks like a blockbuster movie budget in my opinion. Yeah, the Klingons could do a little bit better, but there's scenes in here that look pulled straight out of a movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's definitely a movie grade type feel about all these episodes.
so that's my
Doesn't feel
guess.
cheap.
Would you? That's my guess as to why the Klingons are so drastically because they did away with the goofy alien of the week. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, in the first episode, we see something that's some kind of crazy creature. It was on four legs and they're on this they're on that desert planet. And I knew right when I saw that thing, I was like, oh, this is awesome. They're doing aliens this time. They're doing different creatures and
Hmm.
they're doing it right. And I just couldn't, and that kind of like pulls me into the special effects is what I want to talk about. I couldn't believe what we were seeing. I can't believe the space battles. It feels just awesome. I mean, as a huge spaceman, we're both space fans.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's the first episode. I think they called it the Battle of the Binary Stars, and that whole thing was just amazing. How the whole conflict between the two, the Empire or the Klingons and Federation, how it all started was awesome.
They have, I wrote down special scenes on my notes, and what I mean by special scenes is this has something that none of the other Star Treks had, in my opinion, was, for example, when she hops in her spacesuit and she's
Hmm.
flying around out there, there's a scene where she starts laughing and you can see all the stuff like going by in her eyes and you just get like super pumped and you can feel the energy that she's got and it's just freaking awesome. Or one scene, they go into hyperspace and it zooms in on like the character's eyeball and you can see all the stars going by. Another example would be the replicator. When we get to be inside of the replicator and you're thinking it's another planet and you're like, oh fuck, no, they're just making a t-shirt.
Yeah,
Those are the special scenes that I mean. And I think this is just utterly littered with awesome cinematography that is just fantastic.
yeah, I agree. I mean, they're doing a whole new thing, like even beyond the new rebooted movies from JJ. It's just like a next step. I When I heard about Discovery coming out, like 2 years ago, I was just like, well, it's gonna be low production compared to their silver screen JJ Abrams movies, but it's not. I think it's better.
Dude, when about a year ago, they showed the first ship and it looked goofy. It was like that should have never came out whatsoever. It just looked kind of dumb. It looked like a triangle with like a circle on it, and
Yeah,
the ship that we got doesn't really. It looks like that, but at the same time, it doesn't. It just looks freaking awesome. It spins around. It's got multiple moving parts. I love the ships. The ships look even cooler than they did before. Um,
well, the Klingon ships are amazing. They're very unique.
So I'm totally down for the aliens, and I even want to. touch back on the aliens again, they've got some other creatures that pop up. One dude that's got this like crazy head, and then we meet the I'm probably gonna say the tardigrade, which is like the giant water bear, right?
Yes.
That has been one of my favorite aliens in all of science fiction. I'm not even making this up. And I've seen literally, in my opinion, every single science fiction movie that's almost worth seeing. Even the B and C grade ones. I've seen it all. I've seen so many aliens. And that thing was awesome. The concept of taking mycelium and spores and what we know about how they can live in space. And theoretically, we pretty sure that they could maybe even be interstellar if they can live millions of years. I just thought that concept was insane, and the concept that it was actually traveling on its own, like through interstellar travel, just
That blew my mind. I was like, what? Because I didn't see that coming.
I loved it. I got goosebumps when I saw that dude go out into space and then jump out. And I
It
think,
was pretty majestic.
oh, dude, they made me actually feel for the character because even though that was a non-animated, not non-speaking creature,
Right.
I still felt for it. I felt like they were doing bad things for it, and I was worried. I knew somebody was going to have to end up jumping in that. I was like, dude, someone's going to have to sacrifice themselves and hop in the system.
Yeah, because isn't the deal that he spliced his genes with that DNA to make it work, or part of it, or something like that? Is that what they're explaining?
I'm kind of confused at how that actually works, and it looks like that maybe he tapped into like an alternate dimension or something. That when we see the other form of him at the end of the last series, but it also seems like that replica of him is aware that he's a replica. Like he had a different look on his face, like he watched him walk away. So I think that thing is like maybe a copy, or I don't know.
I I have no idea. Like, was that his reflection still standing there after he walked away from the mirror?
Yeah, and it acknowledged the other people, which was him and his boyfriend.
Yeah, he had a creepy little smile out there, like he knew something
Yeah.
was going on with himself.
So we know something's been set up with that. But man, I just love the whole tardigrade concept. And actually, it's one of my complaints, though, if I'm going to complain about the show other than gushing on it.
Hmm.
When they captured it and they put it in the science vessel, and they're telling her, hey, you got to figure out how to turn this thing into a weapon. They
Yeah,
had the Indian lady, the cute Indian chick that got killed.
yeah, the
That was
tactical officer.
that was completely stupid. That was poor writing. Like, you saw that this took out like an entire ship of Klingons. It basically almost killed everybody on the way out. You guys,
Yeah, with ease.
with ease, you barely escaped with your life. Which, that scene was freaking awesome when she falls into the ship. I had to watch that
Yeah.
3 times. I was cheering. I got out of my seat. I just thought that was badass. But that made no sense that she, like, I'm gonna go in there. Like, well, hold on a second. You were with us when you saw it demolish Klingons with armor.
Yeah,
So I felt that was just poor, lazy writing. It really didn't make any sense.
it was a forced plot. They had to force it.
Right.
Because it did make sense, but it had to happen.
I would say that was
Like,
my only glaring complaint.
yeah.
Do you have any complaints that you're like, I just really don't like this?
Well, I- just like I said before, with the Klingons and some of the makeup artists some of the actors have, kind of puts me out of it. I can be like, that is like some prosthetic looking lips. The lips really get me because that's the most moving part of the body.
Right.
And when you have this big rubber mask around moving lips, it really makes some of them stand out. And that's kind of jarring, But I mean, that's really minor.
I wonder if they're
Some
going to keep
people,
that. It
I
seems like
bet they will.
it feels like if they changed it again, it would just. And I don't even know how you could really refine it. Maybe there's a way you could.
Yeah, but all things considered, I'd rather have it that way than a bunch of CG faces.
Right. Right.
I don't want a bunch of CG faces or some blatantly obvious looking crap in your face the whole time where you're just like their lips, because you get into the uncanny valley to where it's just not realistic enough that it's just jarring and just nasty.
The other thing we heard tonight was they said fuck.
Twice.
And I was like, what?
Yeah. I I was totally shocked. I was like, what is going on here?
They, I think because how this was released is why well, no, because of how this was released. This is actually on CBS All Access. Regardless of
Yep.
how people are watching it, I'm not going to make judgment. But if you're listening to this and you want to go watch it and you want to watch it the legal way, you do need to download an app or purchase CBS All Access, which is I think $8.95 or $5.95 if you get commercials. Like they make a cheaper version.
Right. Yep. You have a streaming CBS, but if you're in the United Kingdom, it's on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yep, they have it on Netflix every Sunday night in the UK, and they are very lucky because that's just part of their that's just part of them having their Netflix subscription.
So if they said fuck, is that? I don't think that's PG-13. I think when you say fuck, that moves into R. I think.
Definitely does, but honestly, I don't think this is a rated series.
That's
They
interesting.
don't. Yeah, I don't think they have to rate it if it's digital only.
That would explain it.
Yeah.
But so that was crazy. They dropped the F bomb. Let's talk about the lead girl here. She is just a ton of fun to watch. I think she's nailing the tough, charismatic thing. Not charismatic, but the kind of tough. Just go get her, badass. I don't know. I just dig watching her. And when she pulled off that action scene when they were escaping from the Tardibear, I call it Tardibear, Tardigrade. I was sold when she dropped into the ship and she pulled off that action scene, or when she was crawling through the duct, talking about the Alice in Wonderland. I was like, I'm just digging her. I'm digging her.
Through the Jerry tubes, or I think they're called Jerry tubes, aren't they?
Something like that.
Yeah, that was awesome. She plays a great captain, but she's not the captain because I always thought through the commercials and the previews that she was going to be the captain.
That's what I thought too, and that's the way they kind of made it look. And they kind of, in my opinion, they hid Lucius Malfoy. If you're a Harry Potter fan, yep, that's Malfoy. Mm-hmm. To anybody watching, that's our captain. And I dig that guy. I think he's a fantastic captain. I don't know. I think
he's playing a very good captain. He's also playing the guy that I don't know if it's the Harry Potter in it, or I don't know if we should trust him yet. Like, what's his real intentions? I know he's war torn.
Yeah, he's definitely not Picard. He's not the exploratory political guy. No. He is a war. Aren't they on a war ship? Like it's mostly a warship.
It was designed as a science vessel, but he's turned it into a warship because of the jump drive.
Okay.
So I think it's not anything that we classified into any other previous Star Trek, because there's the classic warship, science vessel, and then exploration vessels. I don't think it falls in any of those categories. I think it's technically a research vessel.
I'm also really enjoying Saru. And I think they did such an awesome job casting a giantly tall, skinny guy and then jacking him up with weird feet to make him even taller. He does look alien when he walks.
Totally looks alien.
Holds out his chest a little. And
he's gangly, and super skinny. It's really cool to have. I mean, he's almost like third role, in the series, and he plays really good. I like him.
I think that's going to make some awesome cosplay. I definitely think we're going to see some cool Sarus walking around.
Yeah, that'd be cool. He kind of plays like, I don't know, he wants to do good, but he doesn't know how to do it the best way.
Right.
Because he's trying to be a captain. Since he's first officer right now, he's trying to be captain. But I don't know if that'll last. I mean, do you think Michael's going to be first officer in the series, or do you think she's still going to be the...
Yeah, I think she's going to be playing second fiddle. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a thing. Just because, she would have to go through so much at the... I mean, she just got out of basically jail, prison. Not prison, but... So to make her a captain at this point is going to be kind of, There would have to maybe be a desperate scenario put on. Because right now, she doesn't even have her insignia. Yeah, she doesn't even have a rank. And if you look at the pictures online, she's going to get one. I see that coming. But
yeah, I'm assuming there's some kind of honorary reinduction to the Federation that she's going to get from, something super heroic to repay her debt for being her treason that she did.
We got some other fun scientists too. I don't have I don't know any of their names off the top of my head. I was definitely enjoying the redhead girl at first. I was like, you're
Tilly.
kind of annoying, but then she grew on me, and I'm like, yeah, I like her.
She's definitely the comic relief of the series. She's yeah, she's super nerdy and socially awkward. Yeah, she's grown on me as well.
And then we've got the blonde guy that's like the science guy that was in charge of the spores and stuff. And at first, I hated him. I'm like, oh, I hate you. Shut up.
Yeah, I was like, this guy's a dick. I don't like this guy being a dick to everybody.
Yeah, yeah. But now he's
But
kind
yeah,
of grows on you. When
yeah,
then
he
you
kind of
find
got
out,
like a conscious now.
yeah, and then when you find out he was ordered basically to, no, we don't care about the tardigrade. Just do whatever you need. And he ended up saying, fuck it. No, I'm not going to do it. And he
Yeah,
basically sacrificed himself. So you know he's like a good dude.
right.
And I will say, there's been a lot of movies and media that has portrayed gay characters as flamboyant. When they open their mouth, you immediately know, okay, it's the gay guy.
Right.
And I've met people in my life that when they told me they were gay, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're gay?
Hmm.
I would have
Right.
never known. You have way too much facial hair. I thought you were the bro dude.
Yeah,
And
you're not gay enough.
I thought their reveal was the second you see them brushing their teeth next to each other, you're like, oh.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't have to say anything. They don't have to make this no big deal. You don't have to make some kind of like, Sulu got upset in the Star Trek where they tried that. And I don't know why
Right.
people got upset about it as much as they did, but I believe they did it in a tasteful way, and they surprised me. Yeah, the black dude is maybe a little bit flamboyant in his voice and stuff, and I think I saw
Yeah,
him in Matrix, but I didn't see it coming.
I didn't really see it coming. I mean, we kind of knew that the white guy was um was gay, but the black guy I didn't really see that coming.
I
But
actually didn't catch either of it.
well, I think it was the episode where he was talking about how his other scientist partner that came up with the spore technology that was on that ship that was blown up
I
where they
did
found the
not
monster.
catch that they were together. I did not catch that.
Yeah, he kind of made like this, he kind of had this like overly emotion that triggered me to be like, oh, okay, well, obviously.
They were a pair.
Yeah, but then he's dating this black guy at the same time. Like, well, how many boyfriends this guy got? you know?
Right. Another thing that I forgot to mention was Rosario Dawson was originally cast as the. God, I can't even remember her name right now. I'm terrible with names. I'm literally just I call everybody bro and dude for 6 months until I figure out your name.
You're not the only one, man. Me too.
But she was originally cast to play her role, and due to Marvel, she couldn't do it. So
She was cued to play the Michael
yeah,
character.
Michael, yeah, she was supposed to be her,
Hmm.
but she's doing the Marvel stuff, and
Well, I'm kind of happy the way it turned out.
yeah, I have no complaints whatsoever. I wouldn't recast anybody if I had a choice. I think everything's awesome. I think this just the whole show is just so much fun.
Yeah, I think it landed right where it needed to because Michael Burnham, or Sanqua Martin Green, I guess is her name. Saniqua. I don't know how to say her name, but she played in Walking Dead. That's how I know her, and
Oh,
she played the tough girl in that show too.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
That's her.
she was. Yeah, she was the Sasha. Yeah, she was Sasha. She
So,
played the hardcore, want to be a sniper girl,
oh, her
take out
hair was
her
different.
and
Oh, I remember
yeah,
now.
she had
Her
really
hair
short
was,
hair.
yeah, and it was more curly. I remember
Yep.
now, and she was a lot younger.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
The other thing people have been complaining about is the technology, and that goes in line with my opinion of it being a reboot, and
Mhm.
you just need to kind of accept that this is not, it's not the same. It's kind of obvious. It's a reboot. So if you're upset
Yeah.
about it, I really don't see why. It's a reboot. It's blatantly obvious. They've changed uniforms. Ships are different. Technology. It's like, what are you complaining about this for? If you were still like, I don't like the technology, like, come on, man, this is fucking awesome. Like, it looks badass. Do you really want it to look more primitive than the first Star Trek? Is that really
I
what you
know.
want? I don't think
I
it's
know.
a
Do they
personal
want
why if
they
it
want
wants that.
graphics from the '80s? Because
Exactly.
That's not what I want.
I did dig though when the first time you enter the bridge, you hear the old school like bloom, bloom. I was
Yeah,
like, that's cool. I do dig that.
the naval ping and all that sound. Yeah, that's
So they had a nod to it, but it's definitely a reboot, and people just need to
yeah,
get over it, man. It's fucking
it's its own
awesome.
thing.
It's its own
Yeah,
thing.
The Federation still has their look. On the ships still look like Federation. The bridge still looks like a Federation ship. It's just different, and I'm glad because why would I want the same thing?
It took everything out of Star Trek that I didn't like and filled it full of the shit that I wanted to see, which is, the
Hmm.
effects, the aliens. I hate to say effects, but it's fucking space. We want it to look amazing. And
Oh
let's be
yeah.
frank, every time we saw space in previous Star Treks, a lot of times it was just a black background with dots on it. But now they've got like amazing nebulas and planets and, space dust and shit. And it
Oh
just
yeah.
looks great. And I'm excited. I wish it was more than 10 episodes. Apparently, we're only getting 10.
Oh man, I thought it was 12.
And but the production value is so great that every episode I can kind of see why it's so short. I mean, I couldn't imagine this being 20. Like that would cost like a ton of cheddar.
Right, because they're going super production on this thing.
Just well beyond what I even expected. And I'm super pumped. I can't wait to see more. I wanted to mention too, if you liked Battlestar Galactica, if you haven't seen Battlestar Galactica, you definitely got to watch it. Give it till the third or fourth episode though, until they get in space. But it reminded me of that. It just had this more hardcore feeling. Just reminded me of BSG for some reason. And like the fighting, the guns, the lasers, they're more hardcore. Whenever in the previous Star Trek somebody whips out a phaser, it's like it never really had any umph.
Yeah, they're kind of puny. Even
Yeah,
the ships ones were just like, bzz, short little bursts. Didn't really
exactly.
do much.
This one feels like they're shooting shit now.
Yeah, and it hurts.
Exactly. So I'm hoping to see more of that stuff. I'm just loving it, and I highly recommend anybody that's into this checks it out and gets into it. And the other thing that I wanted to mention that you got me thinking on now is they're not doing these one-off episodes. It's a continued story.
Yeah, and that's
That's
great
different,
because
you know?
yeah, the sitcom style of the next generation,
Yeah.
it doesn't work nowadays.
Well, to be fair, Orville is doing it, but they also seem to have a connecting plot. So they're doing the one-off that also connects to those krill
Yeah, I think they're getting into a story arc.
in
They're just
Orville.
taking a little time. Because they're pretty relaxed about it on purpose.
So, if anybody's listening to this, we're going to kind of wrap this up right now. We're planning on doing more of these. We're going to do one for every episode and talk about it. So, please come back and join us. We're also going to be doing an Orville. We want to talk about that too, because that is freaking awesome. And everybody needs to be watching that show. I actually don't know which one I like better. I really love Orville.
To be honest, they are tied for me. I look forward to watching each one each week on the day that it comes out. They're both great. They're both space. Orville's really funny. Star Trek's really cinematic.
Right.
They have their own little place, and they're perfect. They can come out together is awesome.
And anybody not watching Orville, in the trailers and in the previews, they do make it look funny, right? But it's actually the humor takes, in my opinion, a back seat to the science and the Star
I
Trek.
agree.
And that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's like if the next generation was, for one, made today and like had a joke every 10 minutes.
That's the thing. McFarlane, he's known for a joke every 10 seconds. And Family Guy.
Yeah,
Literally every 10 seconds there's a joke.
pounded into you.
And
Yeah,
there's a lot of people, including me. I'm just not a big Seth MacFarlane fan. No, he's grown on me now. Love the guy. Love to have a beer with him sometime. That I will hang out with that captain any day.
yeah.
Dropped dick like 6 times in the last episode. Hell yeah.
The gay alien guy, they're asexual and they only have male. That whole episode was just like, this is hilarious, but they're not making a joke.
They're
It's
not.
just funny.
It's fantastic that they're connecting to trending things or popular, not popular things, but hey, the transgender thing. That's something that's been in the air for the last few years. It's been
Yeah,
really brought up into the air as far as discrimination goes and whatnot. And I felt
yeah,
like that they were kind of like, hey, let's tackle this, but let's do it in the right way. you know.
Yeah.
Um,
And they're all in the future, and it's like, hey, look how tolerant everybody is about everything. It's like no one was discriminating them at all.
should we make this a double feature, or should we save this for tomorrow?
I don't care. I mean, I'm not doing nothing.
Screw it.
I'm working tomorrow.
Let's make it a double feature.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess we're just going to lead into Orville. We've already been talking about it, so we'll just continue to talk about how much we enjoyed it. Again, I was impressed with a lot of the same things from Star Trek. Their production value wasn't the same, and they definitely pulled it back a couple notches. You could feel it in the cabin, for example, the not the cabin, but the bridge. Definitely
It feels
felt,
like a set.
Yeah, yeah.
It feels like a set. It feels like it was built as a set, and the set that they will continue to use the entire season. But it was good. It's not cheesy.
I highly anticipate we see in the next season stuff like that gets a boost. There's no way that they keep the same set. No way.
I mean, for one, I hope that enough people are watching the show for them to continue making the show.
Seth did say last week that he's convinced it's going to get a second season.
It better. I hope it doesn't stop.
Well,
honestly, I hope they get 5 seasons. You know what I mean?
If you're following the comments on the internet, a lot of the people that are upset about the Klingons and upset about the technology and all this shit we talked about are falling into Orville.
Really?
Yeah. From what I've seen, it's taken the cake right now on everyone's favorite Star Trek.
Good.
And I hope it continues for 10 seasons. I've been just so impressed with their science fiction stories. We're gonna give it away, just like we did this last one that we saw with the ship that was like a self-contained environment and they didn't even know that they were in a ship. Those are awesome stories. That's awesome science fiction. Also, the kid from Parenthood was in that, and he's actually autistic. So that was really cool. Anybody that's autistic out there, look at that. You could be a film star.
Which one? Who's that?
The kid that was helping them along. He was the young guy just a young kid that was showing him stuff. He was just kind of there for the set dressing, really. Didn't have really a big role.
Oh, I must have missed it.
I don't know how you could have, but there was a younger guy. Oh, anyways, I just felt like their stories. And like I said, you were saying, the transgender thing. What else did we tackle? I don't know. I'm just having a ton of fun with it. And I hope it lasts forever.
Yeah, I mean, like, the sets are great. The ship graphics are really good, and they're convincing. I mean, they're not Star Trek epic cinematography, but it's convincing.
Right. And the action.
The action is great.
They actually have shootouts. They had more action in that first episode than like the entirety of Star Trek.
Yeah. They really pulled out everything with that first episode.
The suits are insane. The prosthetics. Actually, I think the Krill look better than the Klingons.
Dude, the Krill look really awesome, and whatever his tactical officer guy is, I can't remember him. Yeah, Bortus.
Yeah,
his makeup looks great. It suits him perfectly.
Yeah, I love Bortus. Already, I love his flight crew, and we got. I can't remember their names. I'm unfortunately gonna have to call it the black dude and the guy with the redhead. There, for anybody that's the black that think I'm calling him a redhead.
Yeah, the two pilot guys.
Dude, instant charisma. When he was like, hey, but he used to let me have pop on the bridge. Can I still have soda?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, and it was totally serious up until that point. Like, they were totally, legit. He was the captain. He was, getting his tour of the bridge and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden you have this break, and it's like, the old academy is, let me have a drink up here. Is that still going to be cool? And you get this like, what did I just hear? That's awesome, because that's real life questions that would happen. You know what I mean? His
name's Lamar. I think he's a nod to Lamar Burton, isn't he?
Oh,
because Lamar Burton was not Data, but the guy with the visor.
Yeah, Geordi LaForge.
Yeah, which is his real name was Lamar Burton. So I'm thinking Lamar is actually a nod to him.
To Geordi.
To Geordi, probably. Yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah. Well, the robot guy in Orville.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was voiced by Data from The Next Generation, but apparently he's not. He sounds just like Data.
Who is that guy?
I don't know. It's Michael something, because I looked it up one time because I could have swore it was Data.
And also, both of these shows are just knocking it out of the fucking park with the celebrity guest stars.
Yeah,
they are.
Charlize
Theron. We got how could I forget the Liam Neeson? Who else we
Oh, I
got?
forgot about that. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
it's just a small cameo, but it's really cool. There's some star power in these shows. Well, I know Seth has a lot of friends, and
He does have a lot of friends.
those are actually his people that he talks to. I know that he's from what I've read, he talks to Liam Neeson. He knows Charlize.
Yeah, it's the same people who gets the, you see cameos and guest voices on Family Guy and all his other little shows that he does. Because you'll be like, oh, that's actually him. That's actually the voice of that guy. It's because Seth knows everybody. He's kind of like that guy that just knows everybody.
So definitely, I'm enjoying both of them. I hope they both last forever. I'll be happy, if one ends. Actually, dude, I think it's the Orville. I'm not sure. I really love them both so much.
I know. I hope both succeed because I kind of feel like space is making a comeback. A
It
lot of
needed to, dude. We didn't have any good space shows.
Yeah, because there's a lot of space games. There's a lot of space shows, and with the Star Trek, J.J. Abrams have been pretty successful over the past 5 years or however long it's been that they've been rebooting that. I think that people are realizing that people will watch space stuff.
And the effects are getting easier to make. I mean, look at me. If I can make lightsaber videos, the
Yeah,
software I think is just getting easier to crank this stuff out. And
exactly. It's user friendly and it's cheaper, to make graphics at this caliber.
so there we have it. I actually, we I don't think we had a lot to say about the Orville because a lot of the same stuff applies. It's just awesome. Love the
It's a
story.
great
Love the
show.
characters. Actually, the
Yeah,
girl that plays his co-captain, the hot brunette or hot auburn-haired
blonde.
chick, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
she
yeah.
was actually in. She got cast as Wonder Woman in the failed sitcom that they wanted to come out. You can actually
Oh,
watch
I
the
did not
pilot.
know that.
Anybody that wants to check it out, just type in Wonder Woman pilot, and you can go and watch it. And it's so piloty that they didn't even take the wires out of her jumping around. It's actually kind of cool to watch, and
I'll have to watch that. That sounds
it
hilarious.
wasn't bad, man. I would actually we should do it for a watch along. We should do a watch along, and we'll watch it together at the same time. Anybody that wants to watch it, they can listen to us watch it because it's one of those kind of shows you kind of got to watch drunk and you got to watch and make fun of it.
Yeah.
It's good and
I-
bad. They screwed up because they tried to do her like original costume. I mean,
Oh,
she had stars on her underwear and shit.
brutal.
Yeah, it was like,
Brutal.
come on. I mean,
That doesn't work.
it was the same costume basically as the '70s girl, but man, she was hot and she pulled it off. So yeah, maybe we should watch that and do a watch along.
That would be cool. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Well, I think we've basically covered everything. I think it went really well, and I'd like to do more of this.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll easily make this a Sunday night type thing after Star Trek.
We're here to hear you guys. Look forward to seeing more content here. Come back on Sunday nights. Although I still don't know if I'm going to upload it on Sunday night because that's like the worst time ever to upload, and so is Monday. So maybe expect like a Tuesday or Wednesday upload from us talking about the shows. And we actually would like to even move into more nerdy topics as well. This is really kind of a test for me and see how everything went. Again, this is Travis Turner from Turner's Travels. And actually, he's got two different YouTube pages. He's really into Star Citizen. He actually made a really cool Star Citizen music video, and he does some outdoor adventures that I'm also a big fan of. So check him out in the description and comments below. Stop in and say hi. And thank you for taking the time, Travis, man. I had a ton of fun.
Yeah, man, me too. Thanks for having me. It's always fun to talk nerdy stuff.
Well, you guys, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you in a week. Bye,
See ya.
guys.